Hey guys, Brian Van Dyne here. I wanted to show you guys the difference that we have made on this property since 2019. So here's a video of basically what it looked like before and what it looks like now. This is basically a video of the property. I'm going to try and do this as steady as I can so you guys don't get dizzy. There's two ways to get to the back. You can go that way, or you can go a little bit further. It's a little less muddy. I think I prefer to go a little bit further down and then cut across. Before, in the first video, you can see we had nothing but mud here, and it was so thick you couldn't see anything. It's just crazy how far we've come in just a short amount of time, guys. It really shows you how much hard work pays off. This is what I like to call the first turnaround, because this is where the trucks can turn around at the first point on my property. Right, and we park the trailers there and they're ready to go outbound. So in the previous video, I show you where the backhoe was stuck. Okay, the backhoe didn't make it very far in the property. So the backhoe was basically stuck right there. This area is a little bit less muddy. It's a little bit firmer ground. This is all the progress we've made so far. We got the backhoe stuck. The road, we made it in and it was basically stuck, basically right there is where it was stuck in that previous video. You can see how much we have thinned it out, and we have a lot of water management controls. You know, we have a lot of culverts in now, diverting the water. You know, that one goes down to the pond. We also have back there a frost-free hydrant for washing the trucks now, which is very, very useful. In the video I'm showing you, this is so different. This is what it is. This is the road. Remember, it curved, and I said the road's gonna go that way. I was probably standing up here when I said that. So the road curves, and I said that's where the culvert's gonna go, and I was walking this way, trying to do a recreation of this video for you guys. The road is gonna go this way, and then it's gonna curve to the right where the backhoe is. I'd show you that way, but the backhoe's kind of blocking it. But we can come through right here, and I can show you where the road is gonna go. This is where the road's gonna go, where all these trees are cut off. It's gonna go straight down that way to right about there, and it's gonna cut across. We'll build up a higher spot right over there, because when it rains a lot, this is like a little stream right here. You can see where the water is. You can see there's not a lot of remnants left of the wood piles, because we ended up loading most of them up and taking them to my grandpa's so he could burn them for firewood. But we still got quite a bit. Now we have a pond over there. The electric line runs right through here. You can see our big rock wall right there with the culvert. And this is where the stream runs through. Look at the difference. Water runs through there when it rains a lot. Down through there. Right? So the road is going to come this way. Up through there. And this is where our house is going to be. And basically what we've done is we've cleared a 50 by 50 little spot. Just since 2019, we have electricity, we have running water, we got it all. We're building a house right here. We are building the house right here, guys. We even have a front yard. All this was done in a short amount of time. And I want to stress to you guys the most important thing about this whole journey that we've done. When I had nothing but a chainsaw, that's the only thing I had, I started coming down here and clearing the property manually clearing it. I didn't waste any time with the tools I had. I had the smallest tools, you know, and I was working with what I had, right? Just a chainsaw. You can see how much we've cleared. Just a chainsaw, that's all I had. You know, and I went from doing the chainsaw, then I got the backhoe, you know, and now I have these massive machines, you know, the 120 and the 50 and these dump trucks. But it just goes to show, if you're willing to work hard enough with what you have, you know, eventually you'll have the big stuff, you know. And I've tried to show you guys that from day one. You know, I started doing all this by hand, right? I started coming down here when all I had was a chainsaw. And hard work really does pay off, guys. It really does pay off. Look, there's our well right there. And we got a tank. You can see our nice rock wall that we built. We even got a ramp for the side-by-side to go up to the house. The road was mud. Like, it was so thick. The mud was so thick, it would, like, in some spots, like where that culvert is, it would go up to your knee. That's how thick the mud was. I built that road with mud, with clay. And I let it sit all summer, you know, and then it hardened up, and then I had a road, you know. But it came at a cost. I had to come down here when it was raining, pouring down rain, nothing but muck, you know. And this is what I've been able to build. we come down this way. We were hoping to clear more down here, but we got stuck in the backhoe and then we kind of broke something. Sorry about that. So we're gonna have to build this part up, put a culvert in. Let me work my way over here. I know this is really boring probably. There's where the road goes, right up there. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed progress so far. I took my downtime and I made myself very, very productive, right? We have a shop that's coming in right here. 2 shipping containers, concrete floor with the I-beams. We're gonna stack 2 more containers on top. Coming over here, we got more stuff. We got a building coming in over here. I'm gonna try to keep you guys as steady as possible. We got another shelter coming in over here. It's gonna be for storing implements and that type of stuff. We got the boat under there right now. Anyways, let me take you guys back to the gun range and the log cabin. I think you guys would like to see that. I figure I'll show you the road going into the log cabin. It's still kind of rough, but I don't want to make this video too long, so hopefully I can get back here pretty quick, show you guys. I wanted the log cabin to be back here far enough that we wouldn't be able to see it from our house and we wouldn't be able to hear anything going on from the house, right? I only got 10 acres, so that's kind of hard to do. So I made this road as windy as possible, right? So it wasn't just a straight line so you could see all the way back there. And I cut down as little trees as possible. I almost didn't cut any of them down, making this road back here. Okay, you can see the big 120s back here. You can see her through the woods. Okay. We have, this property is so awesome. Look at some of the old growth that was on this property. Look how big of a stump that thing is. That thing is massive. So we're coming back here to the log cabin, which is in construction at the moment. I love documenting this type of stuff because, you know, nobody else really documents it. And so it's crazy to see the change that happens when you're working. Look at that stump. That thing's massive. That's a big tree too. So that's the property line right there. There's kind of a fire break right there in between our property and Green Diamonds. Okay, we're just gonna come over here real quick and show you the log cabin, and then we'll show you the range. So me, my grandpa, and my cousin Brandon started building this log cabin last winter is when we started it. You can see it. We haven't put a door in or anything like that. I know you guys are wondering how it's going to look when it's finished. Those gaps aren't going to be there. What we'll do is we'll put boards on the back and fill that in with clay, like the old log cabins. But we got the 120 out here. We got some big trees cut down. There's going to be a small pond up there. Okay, so we really got our work cut out for us for the log cabin. It's coming along. When we first started, we were using the side-by-side and the cable with the winch on the side-by-side. You can see the cable in the trees right there. There's a pulley right there. Really hard to see in the video. But we were using the side-by-side, and that pulley, we were using the winch to pull the logs up, and then we would set them on top, and me and my cousin and my grandpa would roll them into place. And we were making really good progress. We did all that in basically one day. I think it was one day. And we were using the chainsaw to cut the notches and stuff. You know, they're not perfect looking. But one thing is, with these rustic buildings, you know, in the olden days, they weren't perfect either. They threw them up because the weather conditions and everything, you had to get it up. You know, you had to have it built quick, or else you would freeze to death, you know. And so I don't want it to look like a manicured log cabin, okay? If I did that, it would probably take 20 years to build the thing, or I'd never get it done, right? That's been the idea with a lot of my stuff, you know. If you try and get everything 100% perfect or beautiful, you will either never get anything done, you know, or, you know, everything, you'll just become overwhelmed. So with a lot of my stuff, I just try and get it the best I can, you know, with the circumstances and everything. So this is the start of the range. I want to show you guys this. Down there is the corner of the property. This is the range. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of this so far. Right here, there's going to be a building right here with a light and stuff. You know, when it's blinking red, don't go down range. When it's off, then safe to go down range. So I'm going to call this the trench. But this is the shooting range. It's basically 100 yards. I did this with the 120 in a day and a half, basically. It's about, I want to say 20 feet tall from there to here. You can see we struck a small water vein right over here somewhere and just kind of puddled up a little bit. Let me come back over here and I'll take you up to the top levels. So, fun fact about this property. 20 years ago, none of these trees were here. This Green Diamond property, it was owned by Simpson or Mankey Lumber. I'm not sure which one. It was clear cut, right? And we would come in on the logging road, which is way down there. You can see kind of that hole right there. That's where it is basically. We would come in, we walk up here, and we would use this as this was the old shooting range. You can see down here some bits of styrofoam that's left over from basically 20 years ago when me, my grandpa, my brother, and my two cousins would come up here and we would shoot bow and arrows and slingshots and BB guns and 22s. And we would shoot all the firearms that we had, you know, just to have fun, you know, during our summer vacations. And so I basically recreated the range. I did a little bit more bigger though, you know. We stopped using this range one year because there was an underground bee's nest somewhere over here. And my cousin Tony, I think Tony's the one that stepped on it, and they started going ballistic. And I remember me and Grandpa and Aaron kind of like lifted up my cousins Tony and Brandon. We kind of carried them to safety, you know, with the, you know, the bees coming after us. But that was a crazy experience. And after that, we kind of never came back here because we didn't want to get stung and we weren't sure if the bees were still here. But I've recreated this, you know, this shooting range for my family and friends and employees, you know. I got little stairs right here, if you can't tell. I just roughed them in with the excavator so you could come over here and, you know, set up your targets. So each lift is about 10-15 feet. So that's about 10 feet. You know, that one's about 10-15 feet. And then the rest, you know, is pretty far. Man, this is so cool. See, you guys got to dream big, man. If you don't have these dreams and if you can't envision things like this, you need to stop and try and do it. You know, you got to have these dreams in your head. And the biggest thing is not only just having the dreams, right? But you have to work towards the dreams, even if it's the smallest thing towards making it happen. You know, even if it's just writing it down. You know, there's been so many times where I've, you know, written something down or I've made a video about it, telling myself, I'm going to do this.